Your Honor.
Isn't that what pretty much all of us who aren't independently wealthy have to do every day of our lives?
Thank you, Judge Whitaker.
Your Honor, I'm not
Get him.
saying that it is with certainty that this is what he is saying. What I'm saying is that it is evidence that tends to, or that has a tendency to make a portion of our assertions or our allegations in the indictment true.
Clarification, does that also apply to Frederick, I believe it's Frederick Whetstone, the boyfriend that lives there?
Yes,
Okay.
he doesn't need to testify either.
Okay, thank you.
If
She
we have
getting rid of
established the
witnesses.
shooting occurred, we don't need more people establishing that the next day they discovered that the shooting occurred. All right, let's move on to the next.
Your Honor, may I
Yes.
have some clarification? Just the court is excluding the 911 call. What is it that the court is excluding?
Yes, that 911 call from whomever the next day that she discovered that there was a bullet to her car.
Okay.
And whoever that is, the boyfriend or the husband, who was going to come and say, yeah, there was a bullet to the car.
Okay, he wasn't only going to testify to that. And
What
I know
else
that
was he going to testify to?
this is a person, she and he, who have been living next to this particular location for some months at least.
Okay.
They see who comes and goes, and they see what cars, what vehicles come up to the location.
Okay.
They see the nature of the interaction
Okay.
of people with the location. And as far as that particular night goes, as Ms. Hilton said, she heard what she thought was gunfire, and we are, of course, adhering to the
She's
court's
still
ruling
trying.
regarding the 911 call. But she heard what she thought was gunfire. She saw evidence of it. They saw evidence of it the next morning. But
Okay, but
That's
he's
it.
not going to testify that she, the girlfriend, heard gunfire.
no,
Okay.
he's not to test. No, he's no.
So whomever this person is, the boyfriend or husband, is going to come say, here are the comings and goings that I noticed over the course of the last few months, including the night of this shooting. Here's who
Why
I saw, or here's what cars or whatever.
Right.
Okay, that's
this
fine.
Is what, right. This is what we anticipate from that particular witness. The female, the young woman that Ms. Hilton mentioned earlier, she, in addition to showing us, or in addition to having that bullet hole in her car, she has met with us and shown us the bullet holes in her house.
Wow.
We don't have those photographs. I'm just telling the court what.
Was she going to testify also?
We took her name off the list.
Okay. All right.
In an effort for brevity's sake, but I'm just letting the court know that these people who live next door to that location had more to talk about than just a bullet.
Okay, well, I mean, that's fine.
Well, Your Honor, in response to that, and I'm going off of memory, the recorded statement that is really the only record we have of what Mr. Whetstone would be adding. I believe
What's the name of this guy?
I believe I'm being accurate with Mr. Whetstone, but
Wesley?
Whetstone.
Whetstone, okay.
And
Can you spell it?
the issue I have is, and just to be clear, Mr. Whetstone, as I understand it, is not testifying, oh, I saw a Audi with this tag number. I know, I'm just using Shannon as an example. I know Shannon, and I see him going in there. The interview he gave to the police, it was much more like, man, there's all sorts of stuff going on at that house, and it's ruining our neighborhood. Type generalized speak. I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think it's appropriate to just paint in a broad brush with testimony. And so I disagree with the state when they assert that this gentleman would be adding a lot more about what's going on with the house. It was just kind of a complaint that we all have with different people in our neighborhoods complaining about the residents of a certain house in the neighborhood.
All right.
Your Honor, it's not that broad, and we did provide contact information. It's not that general as it was placed before the court. We've provided contact information for anyone to speak to this person. So it's more detailed than what he provided.
Okay, so is it going to be something that tends to establish that the comings and goings were by a particular gang or group of people?
A particular group of people, and again, the nature, the type of traffic, if you will,
Meaning,
at the house.
meaning what?
He will not be saying, oh, there's drug dealing going on at the house, but just the frequency of different visitors to the house, the vehicles he observed at the house,
And the vehicles are going to be tied to,
YSL members, yeah. Will. One in particular belongs to Mr. Williams, for
Okay.
instance. For instance, I'll leave it there.
okay. Well, if he is going to be able to testify to seeing particular vehicles with, whatever frequency he's going to testify to, and there's something that ties those vehicles to these defendants or other YSL members, then that seems irrelevant. So,
Thank you, Your Honor. And yes, it was the Waters Road, obviously, the court has heard us
Spit
say
it out.
before, is a YSL spot.
right.
Struggling.
And the shootings and the activity at the house.
Right.
What we're,
Okay. All right.
That poor chair. The chair said help. Oh no, actually the chair said 403. Wasted that chair's time.
All right, so the next thing
goodness.
that we need to look at is in item 4B, I guess.
Yes.
And this is, oh, it's our same Mr. Sumlin. Okay, and the objection is? What?
What's up, Woodruff?
Right, and so what we have ultimately is that there is no evidence, none.
Anybody want to argue this one?
I'm gonna be spamming that sound effect throughout the rest of this trial. Oh man.
Okay. So it's a picture of Mr. Sumlin, and then there's a
State has lost
post
themselves.
chasing that money, but my past chasing me. And I guess the objection to
evidence.
that is, and that's the purpose for which this is introduced, is for that, the language of the post.
That's part of it, you know.
Well, what's the other part?
It's number 126 on our indictment.
Overt Act number 126.
How many times, we need to get a counter. How many times in the last 3 months we've heard someone say, other than Brian Steele, say Young Thug or Jeffrey Williams?
And Judge, I'll just While the court is looking at
5 times,
the
6,
indictment,
7.
where he is displaying prominently that center tattoo on his person of YSL, obviously along with all the others, and making that post. The fact of the posing on social media with the gang name in the middle and slime for life on his arm, and
No jury today.
asserting publicly chasing that money, but his past chasing him, we would argue reflects at least part of what we are alleging that the gang has done or does in furtherance of the enterprise itself, obtaining money and property through a pattern of racketeering activity, him chasing that money, but his past chasing me, we would argue suggests that he has done things that were not legal. And this is an argument, this is one obviously that could be made at the end. The jury could infer from what they are seeing many things, but particularly we posted or we named this as an overact, number 126.
Okay, and that was posing for the photo that he put on his account, displaying gang tattoos, not the post, not the language. What you put in the indictment is
the description of it, yeah, the description of what happened. He
did
posed.
post for a photo released on someone's Instagram account displaying gang tattoos with YSL on his chest and slime for life on his right arm, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy.
Right,
Okay.
and the language, the language further shows how he is furthering the conspiracy.
How
by
is
saying,
that furthering the conspiracy?
chasing that money, but his past chasing him suggests that he not only does things or has done things that perhaps in chasing that money that are not legal, he is continuing to chase that money in ways that are not legal.
What suggests that he is doing anything illegal by chasing that money?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna let her give her answer. She's saying he said chasing money. That means he's doing something. He's chasing money doing something illegal? Oh,
Right, and so what we have
man.
ultimately is that there is no evidence, none.
I'm about to get off social media. You can't say anything. Out here getting the bag, and because you may have sold drugs at one point in your life, that means you're trying to do something illegal? Wow.
Your Honor.
Isn't that what pretty much all of us who aren't independently wealthy have to do every day of our lives?
Thank you, Judge Whitaker.
Your Honor, I'm not
Get him.
saying that it is with certainty that this is what he
Crazy.
is saying. What I'm saying is that it is evidence that tends to or that has a tendency to make a portion
Wow.
of our assertions or our allegations in the indictment true to the extent that it is relevant that he made or said that
The
made
fact
that statement
this
on
is
that
even
posting.
evidence
He is
crazy.
representing YSL. He is.
I mean, obviously, it's all over his body, but how is the post, the language representing YSL?
Throw it out, Judge.
The language,
out of here.
it's as if he said, I stay ready, or
It really doesn't seem to say that.
I didn't say
You
he-
can put that post in the picture without the language.
Yeah, that's crazy. Thank you, Judge Whitaker.
What's next?
Get him. Some BS.
File 5. Okay, this is another post. And this is also an overt act alleged. Is that right?
It is. It is.
Okay. Pose for a photo with the caption, suit up, it's wartime. Okay. All right. And what's the objection?
Shout out to Judge Whitaker. She's on it today. a picture of him wearing YSL saying out here getting the bag. Chasing paper.
What's the objection?
This isn't
y'all?
funny, but I'm just laughing at how ridiculous this is. My goodness, man.
Your Honor, speaking on behalf of Ms. Stillwell, our objection is any of these comments on the right that
Past the suit up and lace up your boots one, the ones below that, or including? Okay, well, given that that is what they allege to be an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy, I think that one is going to come in.
Mr. Tesla said no. It's funny.
Does the state
Ridiculous,
need
man.
the comments below that?
Ridiculous.
Mr. Stillwell, the OG bull with Shannon Stillwell and one Obama.
Okay. Okay. Who is that?
Antonio Sumlin.
Okay.
is who?
Antonio Sumlin.
Is who?
One Obama is.
Right. So, and maybe I'm missing the bigger picture here. Who is
We all are.
Slime Bing Bing?
Your Honor, a person who is an associate of Shannon Stillwell and Antonio Sumlin, whose statement that suit up and lace up your boots is wartime was adopted and commented on favorably by Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Sumlin.
That's
Mr.
it,
Stillwell
Obama's
in
involved?
posting, and Mr. Stillwell is reflected and tagged in it. And is posting the green heart emoji and the green snake emoji in response to it,
That's not accurate. That's not accurate. There's someone that we don't know who it is, and that's why I was confused, Your Honor, when you asked about after it's lace up your boots, it's wartime. Someone we don't know who it is. We're suggesting that he's an associate. I don't know how we're making those assumptions or suggestions if we don't even know who he is. And then we have who's said to be my client doing a green heart and a whatever that is. I think it's
I don't know what that is.
whatever it is.
We're talking about emojis.
It's some sort of amphibious
in court.
creature, it appears. Anyways,
creature. Oh my God.
This
is
Y'all.
insane.
that's a reaction to the
Yeah.
photo. I don't know where the state's asserting that this is some sort of adoption of someone else's comment. My client's in a photo, and he's not replying to the comment. You can reply to a comment if you want on these social media posts. He's just replying to a photo that he's tagged in. So I don't
Insane.
know under what theory of law, respectfully, with the confrontation clause in place and hearsay rules in place, that we would just allow Slime Bing Bing his out-of-court statements just in.
Your Honor,
And the fact that the state alleges it in the indictment does not move me in the least. I mean, we had no part in drafting this indictment, obviously, but just because the state alleges something
Shout out to
in an
Mr.
indictment doesn't doesn't suspend the rules of evidence.
This would be the evidence by which they would establish that.
Well, I understand that, but it's still the rules of evidence, and I know you know this, Your Honor, but the rules of evidence still apply, even if they've asserted that.
For the record, Your Honor, the image on slime being appears to be a female.
They can't hear you. Well, I mean, the picture is,
Yeah.
who knows whether,
Right. Who knows anything about?
I mean, honestly, y'all, if this were, it looks like these people are cleaning up a playground. I'd be like, yeah, if I were the defense, yeah, let's talk about this. Look at these bad guys. But hey, that's what the state wants in for whatever reason. I don't know how I don't know how anybody would find this to be an act in furtherance of gang activity, but
Yeah.
Well, that's why
they could argue that, I guess.
that's
They
why
could,
I'm concerned
but
with this. I agree
be
with you. I
accurate.
don't necessarily have a problem with the picture. It's the caption by Slime Bing Bing that casts this in a different light, and I don't believe. Well, first of all, we don't know his government name, and I have no reason to believe that that person is testifying.
You and me.
I don't think they know who it is either.
They don't know who
Your
made
Honor?
the post.
Yes.
It's crazy.
There's a extremely popular song by artist Lil Wayne, Grew Up,
Greatest rapper of all
Grew,
time.
Grew Up, a screw up, and specifically it states, suit up and lace your boots up, it's wartime. So, this happens a lot in our case, but a lot of people just cite lyrics, and for that reason also, yes, we can
I think you're
cross
right,
on it,
Sean.
but it's just the same pattern. It doesn't show we are now going to war, so we'd ask for it to be excluded.
He said his slime bing bong, the amphibious creature.
Your Honor, with respect to,
Wayne is the greatest rapper alive.
I think that the court had it exactly right, except the court's comment on the significance of it. But this is something that we've alleged. This is the evidence of what we've alleged. And we'd ask to be able to show the evidence that the state believes proves its case.
Okay, well, I'm going to permit it, and then y'all can all have a fun time arguing it, because... Okay, let's move on to the next one.